When we're solving a system of linear equations with matrices, the first thing we want to do is write our matrix. We do that just by ignoring the variables x and y. And then we want to do something that the book calls pivoting. We want to make this first entry in the first row equal to 1. And to do that, we're looking at step 2, where we replace the first row by a multiple of itself. And what this means is we want to multiply the first row by something so that the first entry will become 1. Well, 2 times 1/2 is equal to 1. So we're going to multiply everything in the first row by 1/2. And the second row remains unchanged. And next we've got the 1 in the first column, and we want to make everything else in that first column equal to 0. So we need to make this 3 equal to 0. In order to do that, we want to replace any row by the sum of that row and a multiple of any other row. In order to make this 3 0, we're going to have to add -3 to it. So we need a multiple of the first row so that the first entry is -3. Well, if we multiply the first row by -3, that will make the first entry -3. So that would give us 0 in the first entry. And so you'll do your math. 3 plus -3 is 0. -2 minus 6 is -8. 4 minus 12 is also -8. And so the first column is done. And then you want to repeat that process for the second column. Now you want to make the second entry equal to 1. -8 times -1/8 will give us 1 in that second entry. So we'll leave the first row unchanged. 0 times -1/8 is still 0. -8 times -1/8 is equal to 1. And now we've got the leading 1 in the second row, and we want to make every other entry in the second column equal to 0. The top entry in the second column is 2. We want to make that 0 by adding a -2. So in order to add a -2, we can add to that row a multiple of the second row, and that multiple would need to be -2. So we multiply everything in the second column by -2 and add that to the top row. 0 plus 1 is 1. -2 plus 2 is 0. -2 plus 4 is 2. And the second row remains unchanged. And now we have this in reduced form. In the first column we have 1 and 0. In the second column we have 0 and 1. And then that last column are the solutions. So we can interpret this as the solution to our system of equations is x equal 2 and y equal 1. If you wanted to write that as an ordered pair, the answer would be 2, 1.